What is going on, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're taking a look back at the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2016, aka Shin Godzilla. Let's jump right into it. And here we have Shin Godzilla, and if you're not able to tell, this guy is quite big. He is significantly different in just design and scale in comparison to other Godzilla figures that have come out so far, at least in my recollection, and that I have in my collection as well, that is. So he is definitely one of the bigger ones and just bigger Monsterarts that I own, next to King Ghidorah from the Heisei era, as well as Destroya. So this guy is quite a massive figure. And I mean, just look at the sheer scale of this guy's tail alone. So jumping right into it, our man has quite a bit of range of motion throughout. So starting off of his head, the top portion of his head right here, as well like the lower portion of his jaw, these two pieces are separate. That way he's able to get that big ol' open mouth as you see him do in the movie. Speaking of which, he's got some pretty nice paintwork inside the mouth. It just looks raw. This figure throughout, he just looks like a slab of meat, like just incredibly raw and gory looking. Even like the textures and paint apps throughout, he just kind of looks very wrinkly and just wet throughout, very menacing and grotesque. And I mean, rightly so. He transforms quite a few times in a movie, and he had another plan formed at the very end to just like wreak havoc across Japan. But yeah, very nicely done. Mine has a bit of paint bleed throughout the teeth as well as the sides of the jaw, both in the top and bottom portions, which, you know, to be expected in most cases, but I don't think it's horrible. His eyes are done nicely as well. I find that his left eye right here, just the overall sculpt of it is a bit more sunken in comparison to his right eye, but not that noticeable. So he's gonna have neck rotation right here at this portion, this whole area, as well as the bottom. In combination, you're able to get his head to do quite a bit, dip in and upwards. His chest, you're gonna have one big old ball peg right here along this stomach area, and then you're gonna have a floating piece attaching it to the rest down here at the waist. So you're able to get some very nice crunches, and along with that head and neck combination, he's able to execute poses that you see him do in the film. So very nice. Arms, he's gonna have some movement right here in the shoulder area, if you will, but not a whole lot, and you'll want to be careful, especially since you see his arms are very tiny and scrawny, but you are able to wiggle it around. There we go. You will have motion right here, the bicep, I guess, if you want to call it that. Double jointed tiny elbows, and his hands are on little pegs as well. Not a whole lot going on, but that's okay. You're really just gonna see him doing this the entirety of the film anyway, just like crunched arms, like I'm pissed. So that's okay. In regards to legs, they're on ball pegs. They are a little bit loose, but this is the first release, so to be expected. He is gonna have a floating piece right here at the knee itself, which does move a little bit. And then ankles are on ball pegs as well, so they have a bit of rotation, just gotta be careful with them. Let's get a closer look at these feet. Pretty nice detail work on them as well. Flipping him around, you're gonna see some very nice paint work and just overall design with the plates. Let's tilt them a little bit. And again, here's that like rawness to the figure. It's like just muscle tissue just being torn apart when his plates are just protruding. Very nice shades of reds, pinks, and whites throughout. Plates are spiky, varying in size. And that's gonna all lead into this massive tail, where the plates will disappear a bit, and then it just looks like tiny bones just sticking right out of it. And this tail, again, it is no joke. Segmented through and through. You're able to get some very nice S shapes, and it starts about here. You can have a separate piece connecting the body to this portion of the tail, which does not move, but after that, every portion afterwards will move freely. So very nice posing that you can get out of this tail, leading through all the way to the very tip, where you can see that face, if you will, right there. And I feel like the coloration on this guy is a bit muted to what the packaging shows. I feel like the packaging shows him to be a bit more on the red side. And again, this could just be my copy alone. Maybe some others got a version that does look a bit more red. And this is where the re-release of this guy comes into play. They did just come out with the Night Combat version of him, which has translucent red portions of plastic throughout the figure, on top of a bit different paint work, which really makes the figure come to life a bit more. And I think that version of him really looks much more similar to what the packaging of this original one showcased. Not to say that this is a bad figure by any means, just something to point out. If you're looking to get a Shin Goji, I think that the Night Combat one just does the job a bit better. So, quick size comparison and showcase to some other Godzillas. Let's go ahead and get him pushed to the side a bit. Here we have the SH Monsterarts Birth Godzilla from the Heisei era. This is a more classic design, and he is quite small, as you can see, in comparison to this dude. We also have the Godzilla 2023, the -1, one of the more modern takes on him, but still quite small. And lastly, Godzilla 2024, the evolved version. I got him in his mega squat pose. So he is a bit more crouched in, obviously, but still, this guy is just a massive figure. I just want to showcase what they look like side by side, regardless. So, with that, let's go ahead and wrap it up. So when it comes to the SH Monsterarts Shin Godzilla, this guy is a must-buy. He is a very unique take on Godzilla that really is represented quite well in figure form. In regards to just the overall sculpt, paint apps, and articulation, this guy is really it. I did pick up mine up a couple years ago, so this is the original release, and they just re-released him as the Night Combat version. So he's got some translucent red parts throughout the body, and the paintwork is a little bit different as well. And I want to say that that one is just a little bit nicer, in my opinion, than this one. So if you don't have either one, I would say just go for the Night Combat version. It's just a little bit more vibrant, just adds a bit more flair. Not to say if you find this particular one, the first release, at a good price, go ahead and snag him. He is amazing, and you're not going to regret it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. You can check out my Instagram at gojiboy93, where you're going to find photos of this guy as well as many other Godzilla figures in my collection. And if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. Until next time, take care.